He had seen it all. Blockbuster premieres under blinding lights. Encores met with standing ovations. Applause that echoed through every theater, from Los Angeles to Tokyo. Nicolas Cage. A man whose very name had become synonymous with cinema itself. Over 100 films. Billions earned. And yet, there was something he hadn't yet touched. Something far stranger than fiction. It arrived not as a call, not as a whisper, but as a script. Thick, worn pages, bound together with no title page or credits. Just two words printed in jagged ink. Descent Beyond. He read, page after page, dialogue lines, set directions, symbols scrawled into the margins. It shouldn't have been different, but it was. The words wrapped around his mind like ivy. The more he read, the deeper he fell. He saw himself kneeling before a stone altar in a forgotten temple. He felt its cold surface beneath his fingers, smelled the blood-red ink used to mark the stones, heard rumbling from deep within its walls, and he knew it was not just a story. Before the sun had risen, he was airborne. A private jet chartered without hesitation. Destination? Somewhere in the vast Pacific. His agent had tried to intervene, warning that the financiers of Descent Beyond were unusual. Nick didn't care. He was willing to do it for free. But that, at least, his agent talked him out of. The island that greeted him was barren and silent. Research tents flanked a single dirt runway. Logos he didn't recognize were stamped on their sides. Armed guards escorted him without a word to a woman waiting beside a black jeep. She introduced herself as Pauline Stamper. White-haired, hard as steel. Not a director in the traditional sense. She didn't ask if he was ready. She knew he was. They drove through what looked like an abandoned summer camp, past a roaring waterfall, and descended into a deep valley choked in mist. The crew followed in silence. Eventually, they stopped. Before them stood a cave. Its mouth yawned wide like something ancient, long since forgotten. Inside lay the ruins of a temple carved in the dark. A stone altar at its center. Smooth walls covered in dust and silence. But Nick recognized it all. He had seen this place, in the script, in his dreams, in something older. Filming was set for the next day, but Nick couldn't wait. The words itched at the back of his throat. He demanded the scene be filmed now, as the last rays of sunlight disappeared behind the jagged cliffs. He spoke the incantation as written. No stumbles, no hesitation. Every word rolled off his tongue with unnatural ease. He dipped his fingers in a bowl of crimson ink, painting the same symbols he had memorized. They burned into the stone like they belonged there. Then the walls glowed. At first, he thought it was the lightning crew. Some clever trick to enhance the mood. But the glow came from within the stone. Shapes emerged, ancient symbols mirroring those he had just painted. He reached out, touched them, and the fog answered. Black fog, thick, cold and alive. It poured from the walls, wrapped itself around his arms like tendrils of something older than time. He turned, expecting laughter, applause. Perhaps Pauline had orchestrated this, some elaborate prank? But no one was there. No crew, No lights, no escape. Only the fog, endless, whispering, waiting. He told himself it couldn't be real, that it was just a movie. But this script was never meant for the screen. It was a summons, and he had answered. Enter the portal, remain in the fog.